Dalai Lama, you know Dalai Lama, right?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Big CIA loves him. Nazis love going to Tibet.
They all love it.
Oh my God, actors love Tibet. What a font of wisdom that fucking place is. They're worse than goddamn Wakanda. You know, Wakanda, they're so great, but they determine their leader with a fight under a waterfall.
Yeah.
Right? That's stupid shit. It's absolutely retarded. And then so that's what Tibet is. China's right about them being scumbags, the fucking Dalai Lama and them.
They're CIA. That's CIA.
Well, but they were there for the CIA. CIA got from the Nazis when we merged with the Nazis. But so they went there because, so what do? They take a little kid from his parents, age 4, before he has the brainwave to learn reality. They trace the generations, which is DNA, to see if he's suggestible, if he can dissociate. They take it for his parents. Oh, they have toys. Like he picks the one to see if he's right. Oh, you must have the soul of the leader. So they've had the same, I guess, president for like 1,000 years. Is that their story? That's gross. They bring the kid. They repattern him. And they don't even wait till the other guy's dead. They're already lying and telling him he's the guy while the guy's still alive. They probably just make up some bullshit story. He's bilocated. Then they brainwash a child to think they're the last guy. And it's very easy because the personality of Dalai Lama is nothing. It's horseshit. They made it up in the first place. The last guy who was the Dalai Lama was just another kid with this fake personality. It's just a role like Batman or something.
But Yogi Berra. It's Yogi Berra is what it is. Exactly.
Yeah, and they program the child to think he's that, and he is that. And he is that. That's this right there is your MK Ultra ultimate. It's despicable. Good on China for keeping a fucking lid on that shit. So I'm so sick of these people. And they spout Buddhism at you, dude. All that shit is mind control. All of it. All the wisdom of the East and the fucking whatever. A lot of Christianity is that. It's not supposed to be. Everything's not supposed to be. But guess what? These wormy ass fucking whatever they are, the serpent race they're called, not because they're snakes or something for real. That's what they're called. I don't really understand it, but they think they're from the line of Cain or something, or it's like this line of Seth and the line of Cain. But these maniacs trace this back, and they have a mishmash of all these beliefs. I got into this fight trying to figure out what their Scientology is. Like Scientology is like a CIA cutout controller religion now.
Yeah,
probably
L. Ron Hubbard was Navy's intelligence.
Yeah, and so I always thought maybe they sidelined him and kind of took it over, but both could be true easily. All he's doing is a watered down version of what Freemasons or Rosicrucians or any of the others are doing. You get initiated. If you hear this information, you might die. So people are programmed to think if they hear the truth, they'll just like die. I mean, it's not fantastical. It's not like a comic book. The things that you see, for you to say it's nuts that you don't want to be part of that, shows you what it is. It's the whole thing. The whole fucking, is Taylor Swift an industry plant? Are you, all of the shit you like is morons? All of it. You haven't figured that out? I don't know who I'm yelling at.
Not us. We're agreeing with you. We're totally in on it. I
know who I'm
totally
talking to,
agree with you. And it's just like people, I just don't get it. Like even if you get into like the COVID vaccine and you're like, hey man, this virus isn't what you think it is, and this vaccine isn't going to do anything. We're trying to help you. The amount of anger that is met is thrown at you by simply saying that the lying liars who've been busted lying all the time are lying to you again.
Yes, trauma-based mind control. It's called trauma-based. It's mass rollout. So,
and the craziest part, Kurt,
9/11 trauma, then the control. Trauma, forget control.
If let's say you're a Republican and I go, the Democrats are doing this, you're like, fuck yeah, they are. Yeah, they are. But I go, and the Republicans are doing it too. They're like, how dare you? And I'm like,
Tony said that to me.
Exact same space.
Sam, Tony, dude, this is why I even brought up Tony before, because I still can't get over this thing. I'm sitting there talking to that dude Francis from Trigonometry.
Yeah.
Actually, I like that dude a lot, I have to say. Well, I was talking.
Which one is he? The guy who looks like he's from the Black Keys, or the other one?
The Black Keys one.
Okay.
Yeah, and And we were talking about the H-1B thing because, Elon had to walk it back on Twitter, but he was way the fuck out of line.
I love that though. That's why I love Twitter. It's like Twitter is the greatest place for ideas. You will find out real quick how your idea is going to do.
Vivek said that bullshit about America's culture. First of all, the H-1B does not bring the best and the brightest. It brings a lot of hotel cooks and you know why they want to fill it with Indians, besides the fact that India, fundamentally, a lot of these people think they should own slaves or be slaves. They think like that because there's nothing more important than success and being in the right social caste.
Because they have a caste system. Yeah, they have a caste system.
So do we. And guess what? We're going to have it more from the contribution of these fine H-1Bs. And we already did. That's what that bitch from Twitter, the one that with Jack Dorsey, they went on Rogan.
100%. They come here. They're from caste systems where it's okay to label somebody as an undesirable. Like you cannot talk to them simply because they came from a hole.
Now, wait, don't get me wrong. I don't want to shit on them too much because we have that here in America. And when people go, are there unseen intelligences, entities we can't see all around us in another dimension? Yeah, they're called the homeless. And sometimes you interact with them. People say there's a smell sometimes. Yeah, everyone has that. Everybody does the same crime.
Yeah, but the only thing
how do you label it?
I don't think this is a perfect system. I'm not defending our system. But I know people that were homeless that have pulled themselves out and live in, have a wonderful life. That system is,
you're
born into there.
Majority. That's a majority, Sam.
Never get out of there.
Oh, right. So here's what the appeal to the old, right. That's a great point, what you're saying. So that's why England, they send the Beatles there. And that's why they love that, because the royalty there is like, how do you get these people to know their place forever? That's why we have so much wisdom to learn from India. Because people get to know. See, all governments are run on, they commit a crime and it's your fucking fault and you have to pay. Oh, it's because every sci-fi film, right? The fucking aliens come and alien narratives. Oh, we don't have too long to get our act together on Earth, the aliens said, because the pollution and your people are polluting and war. You know how bad war is. When are you guys going to stop? Oh, that's right, because I'm the guy calling for war all day. Yeah. Not the one in... I was like, why don't the aliens kidnap the fucking president if nukes are so bad? Oh, by the way, thanks for picking me up and raping me and then telling me nukes are bad. Aliens.
My favorite thing is they're stopping the nukes, but they don't care about Gaza. They're not going over there and say, like the aliens that are stopping nuclear war are not stopping genocide in Gaza.
Yeah, Sam, let's say that's real. That should tell you everything about what the aliens are. If they're real, they care about nukes, but not about Gaza. So that means they don't care about us. They want our shit, and they don't want us breaking our shit before they get it. That's how I would take it if they're real. If they're not real, it's just more bullshit. Point, dude. Yeah, see, things you say like as a joke a lot of times are what it is, dude. It's really upsetting. But so these aliens, they go, oh, nuclear weapons are bad. And then, the guy who was out sawing logs in Seattle or Washington, he comes to tell it, we have a president. Why don't you go stick your thumb in his ass and mention about the nukes? Why are you doing this to some fucking farmer?
What do you think of disclosure? What's
it happened. It happened.
What's the end game there, though, with the people in this movement right now? What are they doing?
Like on TV, like a focus group. So I started out looking at UFO shit, and there's the same theme of abduction, rape, and forgetting about it, and some fucking corny-ass don't pollute message. And the same with satanic abuse, except the story's much worse, but still includes the basics of making you forget. And also, man's the bad one on the environment, and where you're supposed to feel guilty for being alive. That's someone trying to scam you out of your house or something.
Club of Rome.
So what they're doing is a focus group. Okay, imagine if God got sick of us and sold us to Walt Disney, like he's like George Lucas, and now they're as a committee trying to figure out the best ending. And they're doing little test viewings to audiences to see, is it going to be UFOs or is it Nephilims? Which one do you like better? And then that's what the shit looks like to me from somebody who worked in TV. You start to notice the play, the script. Now, who's doing that? If you want to get real wild.
Let's get real wild.
My wild theory is that it's some kind of interdimensional, like trillionaires that transitioned but transhuman transitioned, and now they can't transition back. And the results are as bad as when people get bottom surgery. You lose something permanently, and these fuckers can't even.
Bro, that was a heavy bomb right there. Damn. So they
I can't tell you that's their thing. I'm telling you what I think.
But what makes you think that?
Because, well, a bunch of shit, but and I kind of thought Whitley Strieber said a thing about how when he was around that yellow face one from the cover, he goes, after a while, it just feels like you're around a person who's had too much plastic surgery. I was like, really? Yeah, they're not. I don't think there's aliens like a dumb word because I don't think we know what anything is. So we don't know what a dimension is. Well, a dimension is just a direction you can move. It's not a parallel universe. And I don't think we understand perspective enough to really know, or the intraterrestrial. The labels are not important. Okay, there's only right. They say all is mind. Okay, so that means if I control your mind, I'm God for you now. So because of we're the center of everything and we're the portal, that means you can chain us together like when you play an MMO, it's called peer-to-peer network, right? Instead of a server.
PvP. You're talking about PvP?
No, that's player versus player. But to run the game, the company buys a big server that's expensive, or they do it so that your PlayStation or whatever is hooked up to another guy's PlayStation, and the processing power is contributing to creating the world that you're playing in. Okay? So I think that's what we are, some kind of peer-to-peer. So you're not just an observer, okay? You're a projector. And these people, they like got their fucking their wiener and balls, their soul got like removed. Okay? So now they've lost something, and they're going to try to hook onto you. And now they got to run internet scams, like Nigerian prince scams. Like, please just help me out and keep the dude. That's why I would never do that Monroe Institute shit ever, because there's no way they would put that out to the public unless they want you to try it and overlay some pattern over your fucking brain pattern. There's no way they'd do that. And everybody can do it. That's real shit. But it's an individual experience. They're trying to make everybody have the same experience when they do it. That's real fucking sinister, man. It's like I have one cord here, like I'm trying to plug in something, and this side's AI, and this is people. And I want you to both be the same thing. So I'll try to make you, the people, more like an AI, and the AI more like you. And eventually I can plug it in, and then I'll have this fake, like this fake thing that I want that I'm in control of, like a metaverse, if you will. And in the metaverse, if you're poor, you're gonna be poor. You're gonna be poor in the metaverse too. They're buying the rich people bought all the good meta land.
You're totally right.
You put on the thing, and you just have like a new lamp. That's all you can afford.
Imagine being more poor in the metaverse than you are in real life.
That's sad. Yeah.
That would be so sad. That would be so sad.
Got to share your job in the metaverse.
Yeah, all that brain chip shit that's not new. That Jose Delgado, CIA scientist, you go look him up and what he did. I can't remember what they called it, but we get the term tinfoil hat. You know where we get that one from, right? Leonard Kyle, the guy who they put that chip in his head without telling him, started driving him nuts because of microwaves or something in his brain. He was a real smart guy. He had Kodak patents on like some Polaroid thing. He ends up in a funny farm putting metal trash cans on his head to block out the microwaves that they were shooting in his goddamn head. Then the hospital started giving him tin foil that he'd wrap around his head. Okay, so that's what a tinfoil hat is. It's actually a thing to help the guy that the government mutilated his brain. And Michael Crichton wrote a book called Terminal Man, all about it, because he was at Harvard when they were doing this shit to this poor fucker. Oh, they stole his patents. And there's all thank you, CIA. You're the best. You're the fucking best. So now that's a joke, a tinfoil hat, a very real victim of these fucking people. I never knew until recently. Control All History. I'm telling you, that channel.
I'm there, dude. I'm gonna start reading the shit out of that. Is it just articles or is there videos?
No, it's not articles. It's videos. The guy. You don't have to read shit. The guy, dude. It's really good stuff, and it's not because I'll look at the really crazy stuff as well. I look at everything. I look at real scholarly, like dry shit, because I need to like just combine. I need to see what's happening to see which patterns repeat, which you can see very easily if you know enough history. And people think they know history, but they don't. So think of recent history before the internet. If you go back and look at all of it, none of it holds up. And if the internet had been around, they'd have never been able to get away with it.
Hey, Kurt, what do you think about the Mandela effect? Is that real? Are they changing history? Are they not changing history?
Okay. I don't know, but Mandela effect, I thought that referred to when people do DMT and see that Mandela.
Yeah.
Then I found out it's because people thought Nelson Mandela was dead.
Yeah, that's exactly where it started.
Okay, so, maybe it's real, but you're going to have to allow for this possibility that you're a fucking moron that doesn't know shit about shit. Because my first thing is like, you motherfuckers can't spell, you don't read, you probably just forgot, because I knew he fucking wasn't dead the whole time.
Yeah.
Now, it could be, though, we are on the Berenstain Bears timeline of MCU and not the Berenstein Bear timeline that we were, I'm sure. But I don't think, but that having been said, if they have gravitics, which they have, okay, and they've had for a while, once you invent that, it means it's always existed, okay? That's time dilation. So all Star Trek, they make it like you're on the ocean in the ship, you know, they like it's it's not like that. It's time travel automatic. You don't have to slingshot the sun. They're time traveling just by doing warp drive. Because the star's light you're seeing is how many millions of miles away? So if you could go there instantaneously, you'd now travel to the past of here. Time is all relative. Okay, so people don't think about it right. You got to think of it just as positionally. So to convert time to miles, where do dinosaurs live? They live, I don't know, 75 million miles away. Like, think of it like that, right? Even though it's years. That's what a dimension is. It's a direction, a freedom of motion in a direction. So once you understand that, then you realize, I don't think, okay, what happens if you kill your grandpa? You ever hear that? The grandfather paradox?
Yeah.
Okay. My girl actually said this because I was on a kick of going on and on about this shit. But I go, what happens if you kill your grandpa? And she goes, oh, you become immortal and without sin. That is what happens. You become a snake eating its own tail, right? And you weren't born out of a pussy. That's what sin means. You came out of a pussy. Sin is a moon god. It was a goddess. They say it's a god, but it's not. It was a goddess. It has something to do with periods, obviously. Sinai, where Moses went, that's Moon Mountain. AI, sin is moon. AI, so that's a period thing. And, you know, the sin is, I don't know, you weren't cloned to a perfect body, I guess, and came out of a vagina is how I take that. So, but your consciousness exists already, so it can't just go away. So that means you now have no beginning or end part. You're just a circular fucking 5-dimensional, I guess you would call it. Yeah, and so now, but if you weren't like an infinite, you know, this is where you hear religious people talk about this, like God's infinite and like the creations are not infinite. So where do you get your energy to not have a heat death of the universe? Because you're going to be there for it. You can go back and forth, right? You go to the beginning, you go to the end. But now that's like a cage.
Yeah.
It's a cage. There's nowhere else to go for you. And that amount of time going by, there's another thing Whitley Strieber said, these creatures he talks to said to him, he goes, well, what's the universe to you? And they put an image of a coffin in his head. Okay? And so now I didn't learn this all together. These are just random shit that reminds me of things, and then I think of it. You know what I mean? It's not like I'm telling you go read Whitley Strieber or something, but I'm just telling you why I'm thinking like this. So, okay, so now let's say I'm a snake eat his own tail, and I can go back and forth in time, just so I can go around the world, like it's the ultimate riches.
Yeah.
Well, I'm stuck now, right? And if my ego is so strong that I can't imagine being annihilated, which is what they can't. I used to say, like in Jehovah's Witnesses, we didn't have hell because it's unjust to punish you forever, okay, for a temporary crime. And the ancient Israelites in the Bible didn't believe in that. That came way later. So we didn't believe in that. But what I never considered was people's egos are so fucking, a person's ego who's so strong and inverted that rather than just die like they could and annihilate, okay, they just will cling to whatever pathetic existence to just be the ugly thing they are forever. And so they could stop being like that, but it would mean annihilation of them. And they don't, because of the way an ego works, there's no other part left but that. It's going to perpetuate itself like an organism, right? Like you have an ego, but you also are like a full person. So you could maybe keep it in check. But what happens when you're gone and the rest of you isn't there to keep the ego in check? And now it's just like some weird bug floating around the ether, you know?
What if the ego is the thing that dies? Though? What if that's the part and the rest of you is...
I'm sure it does. Who cares? Look.
No, but I mean then there's no ego to remain, right? What would you choose? Would you choose annihilation?
Kurt.
If I it was them,
what do you believe
yeah.
is creation?
I think it's a book.
What do you
Not
think?
literally, but I think like the book of life they call it, in the Bible, you're
Oh,
written down in God's book of life. This is strictly my own out of my ass stuff. I'm saying,
Respect. Respect.
but it's just an analogy. It's something akin to a book. Okay, so when you hear this dumb duality shit, which everybody loves to push, okay, of the yin yang, the internal, the balance, right? And these Luciferians, Lucifer's not Satan, by the way. Well, Luciferians, they believe they're above that, so that you got to do something to equal out. Do something good, now you got to do something bad, because they're about being above everything. But they're not. You're just characters in the book, motherfucker.
Satanists and Luciferians are two different things, right?
Of course. And Satan is a title, by the way. It means adversary, ha-Satan. Okay? There's also Satan in Iranian shit, which is a woman. But for this purpose, I'm just saying the one you.
Yeah, there's a lot of weird shit going back to Zoroastrianism and stuff like that.
Oh, quite a bit. So Satan. So okay, Satan is not God's enemy. So people that are into that shit and they're like, well, God's not powerful and all that. Like, Satan's not the enemy of God, dipshits. He's the enemy of you. You're the protagonist in the story, and there's an antagonist. You don't want the book's going to have that. And the trick is to make you think that like like the Mountain in Game of Thrones, that big fucking bad guy, is not a threat to George R.R. Martin. He's a threat to characters in the book. And when George R.R. Martin feels like he's not in the book no more, then he's not in the book. That's how it works. So all you got to do. So is God real? Well, how the fuck you know you're real, motherfucker? You're only real because God's looking at you. Just like an atom isn't there till you look at it, right? Just how, and people feel it deep down. People want to be measured or they don't exist. That's why people want to be famous. Because I don't exist if I'm not being looked at like a goddamn atom. I'm not even there. It's deep in people. That's why nobody's mad we're being spied on. Remember it came out and nobody...
Oh, that is so funny, dude.
Yeah, they didn't burn the country down. Why? Well, remember all the atheism that was taking off of the four horsemen? So they cut the God part out for you. So now you find out we're being spied on by the government and you don't believe in God. Perfect. Well, thank God there's someone watching over me.
At least
I
someone
exist and I'm
cares.
safe.
At least
So
someone
that's why you
cares
don't
about
care.
me.
Yeah. When you do DMT and those things are like, look at this. Because they're not there till you're looking and they know it and they want you to look at them.
How come atheists are so annoying? Like the Sam Harris is, and
He's a
there's even these
fucking alcoholic.
comedians.
First of all,
Like
he's
I'm an
alcoholic.
atheist, but they're like Zionists at the same time.
It's not, don't even worry about the label. He's an establishment guy who makes 150 grand a day on an atheist meditation empire. Okay? So he hangs out with hedge fund guys. He goes to the parties that Joe Rogan don't go to. And so that guy is compromised. All these, Marvin Minsky, the father of AI, that piece of shit. A bunch of people Rogan had on the show, that are those tech guys, the robot, those are all MIT. Minsky was the plug for Epstein to them. The nerds are the easiest ones to get and make them
Yeah,
do
they
shit.
need the pussy. They want the pussy. They want the fucking drugs. They want an island
Dude, I
they can go
still
hang
can't
out
believe-
at.
And they're already been
Reagan got
programmed.
pegged.
Yeah,
But
they're
then you
already-
notice that he's
Yeah,
got
yes.
gay energy. He's got gay energy.
Who does?
Reagan.
Oh, dude, Reagan's a brainwashed mind slave himself. It's in a bunch of, dude, Kathy O'Brien's book. The other chick, Bob Hope, was a major
All that
Remember
cowboy
Bob
shit
Hope?
he was into, dude. Think
Bob
about
Hope was a major
programmer,
gay guy.
handler for MK slaves. Bob Hope. He's a piece of shit. And if you watch him on shows, look at how unfunny he is. And look at the crowd laughing for some reason. That's called hypnosis. When you see it in comedy, right? The people that wiggle a lot and they're not funny, but audience left, that's called it's in Dune, the voice.
Yeah.
How about the
voice
people who
is
get
not
accused of
supernatural.
stuff and nothing happens to them, while other people get accused of stuff with zero evidence and something happens to them and they're
Yeah.
excommunicated, while other people get to host roast shows on Netflix?
Who's that? Oh,
Jeffrey Ross.
dude. Okay, I thought I was like, it's not a tell. Oh yeah, no, dude. It is interesting. People went down, didn't go down. It is interesting, isn't it?
It's just so interesting
If
to
you
me.
got friends in high places, you weren't going to go down. And
You're
if you had the
connected,
right agent-
dude. If you're connected, you can get away. They could have fucking receipts on you, which this chick did, and nothing happens. And that's why when you bring up Bob Hope, I'm just like, oh, that seems very same energy.
Oh, that golf swing's probably part of a hypnotic script. Because who gives a shit that you did a golf swing? But everybody's waiting for the golf swing. So he's going to USO things to talk to troops. They got to go die for what, by the way, to help the New World Order.
Oh, you're so right, dude.
No, so
you nailed it, dude.
It's so obvious. And so think of all the people you know that are like loyal to various things, and like if you want to talk bad about it, it's gonna probably harm your friendship to talk about it. And so I wouldn't. But if you're in a thing like that where you're like, what do you think that you're in? You're in control. You're controlled. So I'm just like, I'm not keeping nobody's secrets. And I mean, not that I would. I can't say absolutely no case where I keep anybody's secrets, but let me in on the scam. Don't make me have to. I have to fucking anticipate that it might harm you if anyone finds out you're a piece of shit, like a Democrat. That's what they're supposed to do. Shut up about getting molested. Dad's sleeping. It's like adult children of alcoholics, Jimmy calls them. He's right.
No, you're right. So, real quick, we got this thing. Trump wants to take Canada. Trump wants to take Mexico, Greenland, the Gulf of Mexico. And this fits into this North American Union that the Club of Rome has been pushing for decades. Right?
Well, yeah.
Canada,
I got told this, but I don't know if it's true. And I'm a lot of wacky shit I start to think is true later, but I don't know yet. But somebody told me, first of all, no one's running for shit or being at the top of anything unless they've been through some kind of programming. It's proprietary. It's not just the government. So you have to understand there's corporations have their own versions of it. They go and find young kids. Remember that chick that said we're in the Matrix and killed herself, that tech lady? And she just got done with that Finding the Power Within seminar. All this boring shit, the young leaders thing that Trudeau went to. People from good families that are going to be something someday, they go to these things, and that's where they do it to them, okay? And I was told Trump got put through Jesuit programming back in the day. So Club of Rome maybe would add up with that. Now, Jesuit, compared to MK Ultra, Jesuit's real bad, dude. They've been a CIA longer than the CIA has, the Jesuits, and they were forged in the fight against the Protestant Freemasons, who themselves were forged in fighting against the Vatican. And so the reason these groups are the way they are is because war is a despicable thing, and it creates monsters. And so that's what they call the dialectic in commie talk, where like, or antibiotics versus bacteria, or gain of function. These groups, they come out a long time ago, and then they outlive their usefulness, but they're not going to just dissipate. They make money and they get power this way. So they just metastasize it to tumors, and they're all over everything. So it's not just the CIA. And that's how these assholes justify what pieces of shit they are, because there's another monster just like them they're competing with, another fucking dinosaur creature. What I want to know is, who are the Olympian gods at the top that we're having these fucking jerk off Olympics for, right? Why do we even have the Olympics? A eugenics contest for the gods that supposedly we don't worship. So who is it? Who's like the ones that it's for their pleasure that these monsters are colliding? I don't have the answer to that. I think they get taller and whiter as you go up, though. I think based on the tall whites story from Charles Hall, which made me laugh my ass off, where he goes, yeah, the tall whites are like, they're not the Nordics. They're like albino, 7 foot, 8 foot tall. As they get older, they grow.
Reptilians.
No, they're not reptilian.
Pindar.
The tall whites, they're called. It's not a losing basketball team. That's Y-Files fucking Steve made that joke. That's his joke. But
what's his name? The Hecklefish?
Yeah. Charles Hall, the guy, when I first got into all this shit, his story you should look up about being at Dreamland. And the way he describes it is so interesting. It's not like anything I had ever heard before. But he said, like, they look at us like we're as strong as gorillas compared to them. They use us as a Philippines base just to get parts and shit, and they'll give us little trinkets to get stuff, is how he put it. Huh. They look down on us a lot. If you like touch one of their kids, they'd kill you on the spot, or touched one of them. Very tall, and I'm just like, this sounds very familiar. this thing of these whiter, taller things don't want me to work for them, but they won't. Boy, that really sounds like a story I've heard before. So I guess at the top of the pyramid, there's even whiter creatures, I guess.
So crazy.
But it's all humans. I think it's all, or they were at one point, and it's all there's a combination of like the castaway shells of the dead, but the bad, if you made the bad part of yourself, of your consciousness bigger, and that's going to stay in this vampire realm we fucking live in, and then humans that transition. Now, if you transition to a higher dimensional status, they're always bragging about that in New Age bullshit. Let's say some people did that. Those are, I think, that's what you're looking at, and because they go, oh, maybe the aliens are us from the future, or maybe they're from the past. That doesn't mean anything. Past and future, it's position. So I think it's just like human or something. They probably think they're the real humans and you're not, is my guess. And Elon Musk is not the richest man, obviously. They say that.
Not even close.
I know the names of some people that Eric Hecker told me, the Antarctica whistleblower. I can't remember the guy's name. It's like Vander, some name like Vander Vlugen, Schmugen, it's that kind of shit. Yeah. They own the thing that owns the thing, and they are trillionaires, okay? You never hear about trillionaires, but they're trillionaires. But at that level, the money don't matter. What the only currency is secret. Secrets are the only currency. Once you get to or if you're in the underworld, meaning the underground bases, watch Nathan Reynolds, dude. I talked to him on the phone too. Nathan Reynolds from the Reynolds rap family. Oh, he'll tell you all kind of shit.
You brought up
about the tunnels.
Yeah, so they did that after in the 50s because nuclear war. We started digging tunnels, right? It's called continuance of government in case of a nuclear war. That's what Denver is. That's the capital. If there's a nuclear war, is underneath the airport in Denver. That's what's under there. Okay, it makes sense. And so they have the maglev trains. It's Neptunium. The shit's Neptunium. The fucking CERN collider. Do you know what they get out of that? The most is metamaterials, like Neptunium. Smashing atoms to try to make new materials. It has a defense budget. Everybody can focus on the fucking devil dance shit if they want, but like I said, knowing what I know about history, that's the pageant, and there's a thing they're getting out of it. And now all these other countries want to make their own CERNs. I thought it was international, because they know they're not getting the fruits of that labor, which is these metamaterials. So and other stuff as well. That underground shit's real. And think of like being in an underground base with no. So Ollie North at his trial, you saw that footage where the guy brings up COG. He gets cut off by Daniel Inhofe of Hawaii, and Cheatham, that dumb bitch that ran the Secret Service where Trump almost got shot. And all the senators are bloviating, either yelling at her for not killing Trump or for trying to kill Trump. She answered one guy, and he wasn't making bad points, this Republican guy. But again, he shouts over her. I don't know if it was intentional or not. But she goes, well, because of COG, she starts to talk about, whenever someone they start talking about it gets cut off. Continuance of government. So that's she's the bitch that took Dick Cheney in the bunker for COG reasons when 9/11 happened, where he decided to shoot down the American planes. He made the call. She's the one from COG. So COG's the thing. They have the Doomsday Network where they can communicate in case there's a war, right? And we lose communication. It's called Doomsday Network. That's how they did Iran-Contra. There's all this shit you don't ever get to know about because they're using this Doomsday. So once you have that technology, which they had right in the 50s, now imagine these fucking ultra-rich frat boys, unsupervised, underground, doing whatever they want, what kind of hijinks they get up to.
Oh, yeah. It's really dark.
I bet it'd be way worse than Skankfest.
Skankfest is the normies version of a humiliation ritual, for sure.
Yeah, it's a freak on the floor. Ari Shaffir shooting on the floor.
Ari Shaffir shitting on the floor, trying to be our Gigi Allen, while also getting Netflix specials. That's Ari's. You want to talk about daywalkers? Ari Shaffir is a daywalker. He can shit on stage and get a Netflix special.
You got to give it to him. You got to give it to him. He brought a piece of cardboard to shit on. It's not Gigi Allen. Gigi Allen really fucking threw it at people.
I appreciate that he was thoughtful with it.
I do too, dude. And somebody had to clean that up who just loves Legion of Skanks. It's like, I didn't sign up for this shit, literally, for this shit.
I found it offensive because he's not getting enough fiber, clearly. So anyway, watch Nathan Reynolds. Yo, your buddy that you introduced me to from the Confessionals. What's his name?
Tony Merkel.
Oh yeah, I got to call him still, but we were text talking. But he had Nathan on. Nathan's appearance on Tony's are great, and my friend Emma's podcast, which because I still got to talk to Jamie Kennedy. Might have been through some shit. MK too, by the way.
What?
Ooh.
Dude, don't even focus on him. Most of them. Most of these people have been. dude, just go on.
Sean Ryan? Sean Ryan, for sure. Right now that you mentioned that. Sean Ryan's a little MK Ultra.
Well, look, I ain't going to say for sure for whatever. I'll tell you what I got told, and maybe it's true, maybe it ain't. But I was told he's 100% that. And he had that CIA bitch on who was talking about how there's ISIS here. And
and I'm getting yelled at by people. Sean cares. I'm like, bro, it's in his bio.
Dude, wait. Are you telling me there's people watching this right now who think Sean Ryan is not a fucking
I'm
monarch?
sure there's some people. We love them and we thank you for watching.
Well,
and we
pull your head out of your ass, fuckheads.
Okay. But there are people. So
out of your ass.
Your spider sensors start tingling and you're like, this doesn't seem right. You know,
Mine didn't tingle. Other people told me who have been through the programs, and they go, watch that one. And then once I knew what to look for,
Sean Ryan?
Well, his guest.
Or Jamie Kennedy?
No, Jamie. I love Jamie.
Jamie's friend of show. We love him.
I don't know Sean Ryan, but I know he gives you. Nathan Reynolds said it to Tony. He gives you a rosary in the gift. Everyone gets a gift. There's a rosary in there, and Nathan's like, he serves the Pope, so I can't like fuck with that. He didn't curse, but you know what I mean. Because his dad, his abuser, his grandfather was a Knight of Columbus in Lake Havasu, and that's some sinister ass shit, man. The Knights of Columbus are fucked. All of them groups are fucked.
They're all fucked.
You think they go to
any secret group where you don't know what's going on is
why do you have that?
Why
do you have that? Oh, for fraternity, I have that. It's called Friends. Why the fuck do you have a secret group?
So you can stick your dick in weird shit, and everyone agrees not to talk about it.
Let's say there isn't a lizard creature guiding this at the top. Why are you doing any of it? Why are you getting dressed up in a kilt with a sword and a blindfold? Why are you doing this? There's no legit reason beyond mind control.
The thing about Sean Ryan is this. He's CIA. He's having them on. All these talking points just fit in to
it's another guy
the military industrial complex. But here's the thing. He tells us that he's going into hiding. But as soon as blowback comes, he's conveniently commenting on the internet.
Well, you can. I mean, a lot of people hide and make little comments on the internet. I wouldn't make.
Well, I mean, like, are you in hiding, or are you like telling people you're not a sellout? Which one is it? Like, if you're so scared for your life, why are you commenting on the internet?
The email from the guy. Okay, the email from the guy. 100%, I believe the guy wrote that email. I don't doubt it one bit. Now, the content of the email. Because that guy, who's from Fort Bragg, just like the other guy, just like McVeigh, just like all these other people that come, just like the Ghost in the Machine commercial, the PSYOP division, was it 8th Battalion or 4th or whatever?
What was that weird one where the ghost is walking? That
where they tell you they did Clown World. They want you, and they're telling you, not telling you, like how pedos like to do, where like they can't resist you knowing for some reason. They want to taunt you with it. That's what they're doing because they're trying to attract fuckbag personalities that think that's cool to do that. Right? The kind of kids that do swatting. That's the perfect personality to be one of these fucking. We need a lot more like secret gays and programmable aspie twats that don't have enough human fucking connection to understand what wrong and right is.
Funny, dude.
It's true. Am I not telling the truth? So those guys are from that. The one guy who was Tim Kennedy, he's a fuck. He was on that show with Tim Kennedy. You know that guy?
Yeah,
the black, the guest on Sean Ryan's.
Tim Kennedy is the former MMA fighter who was like
he's a Monarch, dude. Delta Force, okay? In Monarch, Delta programming is the killer programming. So they're just using the name of it and possibly doing worse. Okay? So these guys that go on to work for like aerospace and CIA and Black Op. What is a Black Op? A Black Op is a fucking horrible crime. That's why you don't get to know about it because they're not allowed to do it. Everybody just thinks that's normal and cool. Oh, yeah, we got to have a CIA because there's bad people out there. Yo, if you're in the CIA and you think you're a hero because you kind of did something about the problems that were caused by you, the CIA.
Yeah, well, that's my whole problem with the Sean Ryan thing.
For your service, you cunt. That's my message. You're not a help. You existing is a problem. And you're the cause of a lot of the fucking shit. Fuck you. Okay? They caused the problem. Then I'm supposed to fucking salute because you tried and failed to do something about it? You're all cunts. That's my message to the Intel community, who should be called a coven. The Intel coven. I fucking hope God burns them with fire.
the problem with the Sean Ryan stuff is like they're presenting stuff like the CIA didn't do it. You know,
course,
like,
but it's still valuable.
ISIS is here. Well, you're telling us the CIA's brought people over that they funded and armed.
Hey, here's a question, bitch. Why you're talking about ISIS and Al Qaeda like they're fucking Pokemon? Why the fuck am I still taking my shoes off at the fucking airport if your dumbass was letting them in here the whole time, bitch?
Dude,
why the fuck do I gotta take off my shoes when you let ISIS in the whole time? Why were you spying on us all day, cunt? You didn't stop that, and you're spying on everyone all day. Eric Snowden has to hide in Russia, the bad people place, because you fucks, and you couldn't even prevent this, and now you're gleefully telling me where they might strike next? You could see through them easily.
You're so right, dude.
Well, you would think that, but there's so many people in our community I've seen on Twitter that that are just into him. I mean,
I hope CIA people watch and see that cunt sees I call her a fat cunt. Yo, I hate them. That's why I like Jesus and shit. The only way out of this nightmare, people, you have to forgive these people. You know that? Because it's a chain of victim perpetrator slavery. That's the pyramids. That's what they represent. And the only way out,
I forgive that.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm praying, I guess. See, I'm not religious, and I'm saying I believe or don't, but I know that they don't like that. I know they don't like specifically Jesus. I don't know what the true story is with Jesus, but I know that these profoundly evil people,
Kurt. I like this.
Okay, these very evil people, and sometimes aliens respond to Jesus coming up. I don't get it. You're just saying Josh. The name is Josh, by the way. Yeshua.
Hold on. You're saying my Lord and Savior's name is Josh?
Josh Christ?
Yeah,
That's
Josh.
his name.
Josh from
Christ.
IT. Josh from IT.
That's how we know he's white. You can make it look.
In the name of Josh, I could condemn
It
it.
doesn't even sound right. Doesn't even sound right. Say it again, Sam.
Okay, why does that work? But why does it work? So it's more than that. Their names are just the names, but they're afraid of it. And that's why they always try to down it, okay? That's like Nietzsche bullshit of the slave. No, the slavery is where you're being blackmailed for evil you did, and now you have to be, that's slavery, and everyone's in it. And if you're not in it, they're going to break your back with money. You're going to be a slave no matter what, okay? And then they're going to tell you, oh, reality itself is bad. Like Gnostic, I hate Gnostic shit. Fucking dirty fucking gooners. The matter is evil. No, dude, it's not, okay? And we're not in a matrix hologram. It's hypnosis. We're in base reality, but what I can do through a series of blue light and razzle dazzle Broadway gay shit is put your mind in another dimension, and you could be right here in reality, but not. And you've seen it. You see it all around you. So what people don't get is how mundane it is. It's not like a Marvel movie. It's, let's say the three of you, was a great hypnotist, and I could make you think that you live 20 years in the past behind me, right? And then I leave you like that. Did I travel to the future? Yeah. You see what I'm saying? Like, we might all be living in another time. The years are nonsense. It's the year 6000 or something in China. But you get programmed to think like these things are real that aren't fucking real, dude. But reality is real. There's reality, okay? We're in three-dimensional reality. I don't think it's I think that's a cop-out that people do. We're like, it's just a simulation. No, what do you mean just? It's a simulation. It's not just a simulation. It's the whole thing. And you could, and so they're trying, that's what the metaverse is for. They're trying to, like, your subconscious, that's the internet that's like the meat internet. Okay, when you're asleep and dreaming and all that, they duplicate it with the Akashic record, right? With computers and the internet, all the information at my fingertips. But it's one that they control. I think it backfired on them a lot.
I think the internet. I think we give too much power. I think when there was no internet, they got away with whatever the fuck they want. And now there's a permanent record, and even though they try to erase it as much as they can, people are saving these records, and we know their playbook now.
They're cranking the machine, dude. By the way, like HARP. I don't know what it does with the weather, but if you watch that creepy guy who says he's the Templar Grandmaster, he said something interesting. Timothy Hogan, this weird fucking guy. I don't know what happened to him as a kid, but it wasn't good. But he goes, he's got his rings on every other finger because this is like some kind of fucking hypnosis thing to do. That's why these guys do that. He said that Christ walking on water, that's a symbolic thing about controlling your emotions. Okay? Very interesting. And then I started thinking about, oh, it was all stormy weather and he walked on. So HARP, it's in Mind War, the Michael Aquino document with the other guy. You bounce shit off the ionosphere and you can affect people's mood. It's emotional weather, I bet, first and foremost. So Rwanda is like the Purge or like Kingsman. Okay? So what do? First, they get these people who look exactly alike to hate each other. You can see the experiment. Okay? They stoke it up. Belgium did a great job early on, but then they come in and stoke it up more with just how it is now, with like Harry Sissons and Sean Hannity's. They got all of them over there. Clinton tells the guy, the Tutsi guy, go ahead and kill that president. They do. That's the triggers it. Then the trigger word, cut the tall trees, comes over the radio, right? Then they fly C-130s with HARP technology back and forth. This is real. They flew C-130s back and forth over Rwanda. So people have power drills like a movie. They turn like a Resident Evil 4 or 5 zombies suddenly.
So they've worked this out. Dude.
Does it remind you of any place like here? Does it remind you of anywhere? Stoking up nonsense hatred?
Obama phones. That's what Obama phones were about. Just gathering data on how to trigger you.
We got 5G to do that now. And so they can fucking... so that's the goal.
We are hackable animals.
Well, but the thing is...
Programmable.
Part of their I believe this. This is part of their weird religion. They believe in karma. And not for any moral reason. It's because of, think of like the ultimate corporation. They're planning to who gets all the energy by the end of the heat death of the universe. They've calculated how much energy there is and who's going to get it. Okay? Think how miserable of a fucking thing. And then, so they've planned ahead, like to that degree, and all this is what that fucking game is about. That's what the vampiric part of it is. Okay? So you're going to be, what's the word? Yeah, fuck, I'm blanking out. But anyway, they want to do that here. They want to flick the switch. But okay, so there's karma to that, to all the energy, and they know. So let's say you're acting right, Sam. You're not doing any kind of wrong because you have to let them in, like a vampire. You have to let them in some way, and people let them in. However, I'm hiding something. I'm lying about something. I have a terrible, right? So once you let them in, now they're allowed to fuck you up. If you didn't let them in, so that's the whole point of the Jesus story. Again, I don't know how true literally it is, but the point of the story is that guy didn't do nothing. So that ceremony expended a lot of, they spent energy and they got none back. Okay? The only thing they get out of it was a gamble, was they can trick you into thinking you don't deserve to live or be forgiven. And again, I'm not saying I'm Christian or anything like that. My suspicion is Jesus was another one of these kind of sex slaves of the ages as a kid. You know, he came from a good family. Mary was a good family. And an Essene cult or something. This isn't historically, plays out a lot. 3 Persians always show up everywhere. The 3 Magi show up in the story.
Yeah. I was told those were Zoroastrian priests.
Yeah, magic. That's where we get it from. A lot of this figures with Persians. Fucking gross. So anyway, you get born and initiated, however, and what I think because monarch, they call monarch slaves chosen ones. That's why I think that. Not to blaspheme Jesus.
They're Jews?
Chosen ones. Chosen ones.
Okay.
No. Matrix, Neo, Jesus, chosen. Okay, but they're programmed slaves to be used. And so what if, I'm just putting that as a possibility, Jesus was supposed to be another one of those, okay? But much the way you make a deal with the devil and it backfires on you, they made this deal and it backfired on them because he didn't do anything wrong, and they spent that karma killing him in a horrible way, and they all believe they have to pay for it. When Satanists talk about taking responsibility for you, that means it's up to you to clean up your own mess and hide it until, and then that's what you're going to do good deeds on the other side to balance. They believe in this like money. So I think it backfired. And so to me, it does not matter if the story is real or not. It does not matter. What matters is they're afraid of it. Think of like a coupon, like a bait and switch coupon from a store. Like my mom was good at this, forcing the store to honor their coupon because she read the fine print. So I look at it like this. If anything happens, I want my free phone call to Jesus, motherfucker. I ain't talking to nobody. Get Jesus over here.
Jesus, your lawyer.
Jesus is my lawyer. Satan is the prosecutor.
Yeah.
Jesus is the public defender.
He's got great billboards.
That's why they don't like it, because it's free. And so I look at it like that 100%. So I'm just giving you, if you don't want to believe the Bible, you don't have to, but you believe this. These fuckers are afraid of something to do with that. So if you want, I don't really care what your mythos is behind why there's a power. I just know there's a power to it. And I know the only way out is people have to be prepared to forgive some pretty horrific shit so that everybody can just start saying the truth. And so that, like, if you have a religion that does that, then that's fine with me. Just tell the truth. Whatever helps you get there, man, because I don't want to forgive any of these fuckers. I hate them. So that's why I would go, okay, please help me, Jesus. Because the homeless guy just stalked my girl on the street. I want to shoot him in the fucking face. I don't have no forgiveness for that. Okay? How will I ever get forgiveness? I need something supernatural. I do. Again, I'm not advocating the Bible's real, anything. I'm just telling you what I've picked up from this shit. If you got another road, go for it. Get it?
Gotta start somewhere, dude. Gotta start somewhere. And I agree with that, dude. There's something. I have this thing that Jesus was somebody sent down to give us a cheat code on how to survive in this
maybe
satanic pedophile fucking energy vampire reality that for some reason we either chose to come here or sent here to learn something.
No, listen, the thing where they put it on you, like, see, I always looked at it the wrong way, which was like, why am I on the hook for, so you tell me some bitch ate an apple and that's my fault? Okay. And it's not, no, I didn't, this is something written in a dead language and it's being filtered through all these people's opinions and shit. But the bottom line is everyone's a slave. That's a fact. It's not, you're not a slave because you're bad. That's like that Hindu shit. Oh, your past life, you were bad. That's why I love that shit so much. I think reincarnation in that is just keeping you spinning in the same conspiracies forever, like UFOs or JFK. That's the wheel of samsara, mentally. It's all mind control shit, like I said. But the universe is mind, so that's everything. It's like, what do you call it? Fuck. I'm trying to think of what I compare it to. Oh, okay, here's one. You hear about the lizards that are feeding on your loosh, right? They need your negative emotions. Doesn't that sound like internet trolls?
Yeah.
So they're internet trolls.
We were just talking about that. Yeah.
So, but you can see the metaphors reflecting, right? Like, what are you getting? They're feeding on this stupidity somehow. Why? Okay, so it's like a metaphor, but also probably real too. It's as above, so below. Is all the same thing. And that's what I'm talking about, patterns. Instead of worrying about the lore, which I see religious people do and UFO people do, everybody, they worry about like stupid labels and shit. Look at the themes. That Diana Pasolka chick talks about it, and she calls them myth themes. They're like the Legos all the stories are built out of. There's only so many stories, really. They're not infinite. They're made out of the same stuff. So, Garden of Eden, you could apply that to anything. Like, I like the Mothership. It's a great club. Garden of Eden. The serpent's the most subtle animal of all. So some fucker's going to come in and try to fuck it up. You know what I mean? You take any story and the themes pop up again and again. So once you learn to pick them out, you could pick out like the plan, I think. I'm not saying I have picked it out, but that's the shit I've kind of put together so far.
Well, I love it, dude. And I think this is like, you knocked it out of the park, and it's,
yeah,
I don't know, buddy. I know you and I have done a bunch of shows a bunch of times, but like, I love whatever's going on with you right now. You have you're great. I don't know if you've always been a conspiracy guy. I feel like when the show started,
conspiracies are things. These are things that happened already.
Yeah,
the conspiracies before the crime happens in the courtroom sense. The shit's dude. We're at the end of Watchmen, where he's like, "I did my evil plan a half hour ago while you were talking." That's where we are. Okay. They have everybody's mental thing on another wavelength somehow. It's amazing.
Well,
the
Kurt,
shit happened.
I think you're so important. I think you're great. I would love to do some shows with you, man. Like,
man. I gotta figure out shit. I gotta go. Wait.
Okay.
All history. I can't recommend that show.
Okay, so let's get into it. Let's talk sometime about doing a live show or something, dude. Let's figure it out.
I got an idea for a thing, and I want Duncan to do it too. Yeah, I have an idea.
Yeah, I would love to do a show with you and Duncan. That'd be so much fun. I would love that, dude. All right, dude. Thanks, Kurt.